Welcome to Curse Films, a show where we review bad movies. My name is Kaitlyn Bowers.
And I'm Ella Christensen.
And today we will be reviewing Cats.
Tonight is a magical night, where I choose the cat that deserves a new life.
Going to the ball could get dangerous. Come on! Let's dance!
I judge a cat by its soul.
I've got plenty of soul.
Spotlight and a drum roll, please.
Milk! It's party time. The most deserving cat will be reborn into another life. So they can be who they've always dreamed of being.
What's your name?
Cat got your tongue?
Here we go! Yeah!
Don't mess with the crazy cat lady.
Now it is time to make the choice.
Right, well, that's not going to work, is it? That's what I say to you.
Cross paws.
Come, we're about to begin.
I love it.
So, in this review, we will go through the plot, or whatever semblance of a plot there was, and then we'll go into a little bit of the characterization and
Issues.
yeah, you know, usually with movies there's a lot more to talk about. There's not much to talk about with this one, so we'll go ahead and start with the plot. Ella, what did you think?
So there is no plot. That's the thing about Cats. It is almost 2 hours of cats singing about cats. It's just really bad. They're just describing who they are, and this is the entire movie. It doesn't stop. Up until the end of the movie, they're introducing new characters and new cats.
About an hour in, they were still introducing cats.
Yeah.
And I don't remember any of the cats that they introduced. Like, truly? Like, I only remember Mr. Mistopheles.
He was an important one. Like, he was one of the main characters.
Yeah,
So, like,
but whenever he was a main character, he didn't do much.
none of them do anything really.
Yeah, like it's just, I feel like without the music, it just couldn't be a movie. Even with the music, it's just, there's nothing to it. Like, there's nothing to like grasp you, like bring you in, make you like actually want to finish the movie. Like, I wanted to turn it off.
Yeah, I genuinely did not want to keep going. I will finish a pretty bad movie. This is one where I was physically pained to see the end of it. The character that I thought the design worked the worst for, like, just really did not look good, Macavity, because most of the cats have some like patterning on them. So like, okay, this is cat fur. Macavity, his fur is just his skin color. And he has these bright green contacts in that look horrible. None of the rest of the cats have contacts except for him, I guess because he's evil. It's just weird, but yeah, Macavity just looks naked. Like, straight up, he just looks naked. Like, they didn't give him any kind of like fur pattern. It's just straight up his skin color. Naked. It just doesn't look good.
We'll get a little bit into characterization now, but he just isn't a good villain.
He does nothing. So his like flourish when he leaves after disappearing cat, he goes meow.
I forgot about that. That's like the only time they say meow, and it's like not even like he's trying to meow.
He just meow.
Straight up says meow.
It's so weird.
Yeah, and it's just, he's not a good villain. He doesn't make us hate him. He doesn't have anything to him. It's not even like I like him. I just feel nothing towards him.
Yeah, there's no point at no point in the entire movie did I feel any kind of like emotional connection or like reason to care about these characters. They're just introducing themselves. I don't really care about who gets chosen to die and be reborn. I don't care that these cats are disappearing by the hand of Macavity, who I also don't care about. There's just no like gravity to anything in this movie to keep us like invested. Like
Even with the main character, I feel nothing towards her.
And her name's Victoria. The rest of them have names like
Griselda.
Mungo Jerry, which is a weird. Is it like a reference to the band?
I don't know, but I looked up Jason Derulo's name. It was Rum Tum Tugger.
I don't like
What? Tum Tugger?
I don't like that.
It's just not a good name anyway. Like
They all have the weirdest names. Oh, and then Penny Anydat, Rebel Wilson's character.
She is something else.
Yeah.
I don't get how she can unzip her fur.
Yeah, she's got this like, ooh, yes, I did not like that. She has this like fur suit on over her other fur, I guess. And so underneath the fur suit, she has this like sparkly pink like
I guess like
dance costume thing on, and you're not prepared for it when she takes off her other fur for the first time.
It's super off-putting.
She's like in this dance scene where she's eating cockroaches that have like faces.
I'm sure we've all seen it. I saw a clip of that going like viral on Twitter
gross.
because it's so bad.
It's so gross. And so she's dancing with the cockroaches and she's on the table and she just rips her fur off. I'm like, what?
And then
where did that come from?
So I thought that maybe it was just like for this song, like she wouldn't do it again. But the fact that she did it again, it's a part of her character.
She does it again.
Like she did it at the very end. It wasn't even like they weren't even singing, and she just took off her first.
She does it to escape from the cavity.
Yeah.
So her and the other big cat, what was his name? James Corden's character. They're like disappeared by McCavity, and her way to like escape the chains was to unzip her first fur, and she does this weird like shimmy out of it. And then it's just really unsettling that she does it not only once but twice.
Yeah, once
it's a plot point.
Once I could understand. I could understand like, okay, they're just doing some goofy stuff. For
yeah, like
scene.
haha, get a laugh.
But no, like it's actually a part of her character, and nobody explains it.
No.
Nobody mentions it even. Like all the other cats are just like, okay, this is fine.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess it makes sense when half of them don't even wear clothes, the other half do, and they don't even mention anything about that.
It's weird, and it's like the songs are strange because they're introducing themselves. And it's like, don't y'all live together? Like, everyone knows each other, so why do you keep introducing yourselves? I don't get it.
It makes pretty much no sense, just like the rest of the plot.
Yeah.
There's really no development of relationships between any of the characters. There's no friends, really. They all just all of a sudden love Victoria as soon as she, comes in. They just all so obsessed with her for no reason. Like if they gave us a reason, if she was like a special cat, I would understand. But she's just some random girl, cat.
Yeah, she might as well be a girl. Oh, and then Old Deuteronomy, like the pivotal moment is when she says to Victoria, like, "Oh, you're a jellicle cat." Well, what was she before? What is a jellicle cat?
What is a jellicle cat?
I don't.
It means nothing.
I don't get it.
Like, I get what we got from the plot was that it was a type of cat, but what type of cat?
Oh, but there's this whole thing at the end when they have the first grand flourish where you think the movie's gonna end, and then Old Deuteronomy keeps singing. She's like, well, now you know what a cat is. Now you know what a jellicle cat is. No, I don't.
Yeah, like, she literally is, like, singing to the audience.
It's
like,
so uncomfortable.
You learned so much. We did not. We didn't learn anything. I'm so sorry, Old Deuteronomy, but we learned nothing.
They hit Uncanny Valley, and they sit at the most uncomfortable point of it where they're too human to be cats and too cat-like to be a human. Like, these cats probably do taxes. Like,
yeah, like they have to have some sort of system.
They probably have rent to pay. Like, they're so human-like, and they have human feet, human hands. They understand everything. They live in a world with humans, it seems, and other animals. I feel like if you're going to do a movie production of cats, like, I feel like part of the appeal of Cats on Broadway is to just have the experience of seeing cats, and part of that experience is the costuming, it's the makeup. There's, like, that's what I remember. Like, my mom is a big musical theater person. Like, she knows, like, I've seen some production of Cats, like, on Broadway. It's not, like, that's the thing. Like, it's supposed to be kind of kitschy, I think, at this point. And they took it, I think, the director took it so seriously and was like, this is going to be monumental film adaptation of the longest running Broadway show. It's going to be so cool and so serious. He took all of the like kitsch and fun out of it and like
really
made it
did.
this really weird, like
Made it super
ruleless,
uncomfortable.
lawless, like I have no clue like what the boundaries are for this. Like when you watch it on Broadway, you know these are humans being cats. They're supposed to be cats in the play. For this, I'm like, are they supposed to be human?
Yeah, it's very unclear. It's very much seems like they're supposed to be these like human cat hybrids, and that's not what Cats is. And like you said, a lot of it is the costume design. And with the movie, it's all CGI.
Yeah.
And it
doesn't
just,
look good.
It doesn't look good. The fur looks very weird at sometimes. It just doesn't even look like fur.
Yeah.
Especially with, like you said, McCavity, who looks naked. He just looks like a naked man.
It's so gross. Like the settings and like the backdrops were really cool and really interesting, and it looked like they were just kind of like plopped in there, and they didn't really like mesh. I don't know like what, because I don't animate. I don't know what the deal is there, but it just looked really bad and unsettling. Like
honestly, I don't think the director has ever seen a real cat before.
no.
I feel like he's only seen like Renaissance paintings of cats, and
And
he
he's
was
like,
like, that's a cat, right?
Yeah.
And then we get the movie Cats, and we can never sleep again
No.
because we will have nightmares.
I feel like it would have been much more effective to just have completely CGI. And like the other thing that's really like uncanny and unsettling about this is like, I know that's Jason Derulo. I know that's Taylor Swift. Like it's just so strange to be able to recognize these human faces on these things that are not humans.
And you can tell that they just kind of dump these stars in. Like there's really no point to have Jennifer Hudson, Taylor
Oh my
Swift,
God.
Jason Derulo. Like all three of those, honestly, I was surprised that they were even in the movie.
Yeah.
They were just thrown in because they can sing, and like that's great. Like don't get me wrong, but I just feel like the payoff wasn't as much as I was expecting from
There's
like
no
these type of
sense of
people.
like star power really. Like Jennifer Hudson, her character is like really bad. Like it's like a really horrible stereotype of like the lady fallen from fame, and like her character, they give her a lot of snot. I don't know what that's
Oh
about.
my god, it's
Like-
so uncomfortable. The amount of
like-
snot that is running down Jennifer
Yeah.
Hudson's face the entire movie.
There's like 3 shots, like I just remember looking at her face and there's just like so much snot, and like I feel like they made it a point to like highlight how much snot's coming out of her
This
nose.
cat has asthma.
Like there's just so much coming out. I'm like, she's not even crying, like there's just snot. None of the humor that's in here is actually humorous. I don't even know if a kid would find it funny, to be
Honestly, I don't
honest.
think so, because it's a lot of just play on like cat jokes, like the cat's out of the bag.
Yeah, cat's got your tongue.
Yeah, cat
And, like-
canary, you know.
And there's like a joke where like someone like hits their groin area and they're like, "Oh, that hurt," and it's like, what? That's
it's
that's
just
not funny.
Maybe like very young kids could find it funny, but they shouldn't be watching this movie, honestly.
It's scary, first of all. They're not going to be entertained. It does not make sense. There's literally nothing for them to hold on to like follow. Like I couldn't. As a grown adult, I was like, I can't make it through this movie.
It was so boring. When I tell you it was boring, I've never been this bored by a movie before. And I've seen a lot of movies, I've seen a
Yeah.
lot of bad movies. Honestly, I want to say this one takes the cake.
Yeah,
In
there's-
terms of like trying to be a good movie and ending up really bad.
I think that's the worst thing about it. It takes itself so seriously, extremely seriously, and it's really evident. And it just hurts. Like it's just kind of cringy, like watching it and knowing that they really thought they did something with this for it to be like as catastrophically bad as it is. Like it's just not, like with bad movies, there's usually something you can like get a laugh at. I don't think I laughed once.
You know, honestly, I had to keep like looking back and taking a look at my cat just so I could remember what real cats look
Yeah,
like.
no, like I would look over at Katie, I'm like, this is a human. This is what a human looks like. Like,
Oh,
I
God.
couldn't imagine watching this in the theater and being like deprived essentially of your other senses. Like you can't see other humans around you. You can't look at your phone for
Oh my God, you would
reprieve.
really be in the world of cats.
That's devastating.
It sounds like we're all over the place with it, but that's because it is. It is
Yeah.
all over the place.
There's no way to talk about cats and move through it chronologically. I think just processing it is hard.
Honestly, I really just had to take a second and just be like,
Decompress.
so that was a movie. That's what that was.
Yeah, like I genuinely thought, okay, like it can't possibly be as bad as people are saying, because I've watched reviews about it when the movie first came out. I had some friends that went and saw it, and like all the YouTube videos start where they're just like sitting down and staring at the camera like they're trying to decompress and process what they just went through. After I finished the movie, I just stood up. I just stood up and I was
just
like,
don't even have a reaction. It's not even like, oh, thank God that's over. It's like, oh.
you have to like reacclimate
It's like, yeah,
to your environment.
It's like we were held hostage by cats.
No, and the ending is horrible because they have, okay, spoiler alert, there's this huge thing about Griselda, is that Jennifer Hudson? Jennifer Hudson's cat is chosen as the Jellicle cat to get sent off in a hot air balloon to die and be reborn. So they
Weird,
have,
right?
yeah, that's like the only plot I can tell you about, really. So they're watching her float away and they're singing and there's this grand flourish, like they're gonna be done. And I was like, oh my God, please show me a black screen, show me some credits, I need something. And then it keeps going.
That's the movie for you.
And then it keeps going.
And it keeps going. You think the song's over, and it keeps
Guess what, baby?
going.
It's gonna keep going because there's more. It just cuts to Judi Dench singing directly at us.
It's like she's talking to the audience,
Yeah,
and it's very
it's
like
like a-
fourth wall breaking.
Yeah, and the scene's really uncomfortable if you pay attention to the cats that are around her, because she's singing directly to the audience. But if you look at like Victoria, Mr. Mistopheles, I think there's like another random cat just like around her for some reason, you can tell the actors don't know what to do because these scenes are so long.
It was just stuff happening and no reason to care about it happening.
Yeah.
They gave us nothing to draw us in, gave us nothing to keep us interested. They gave us nothing. Because of that, personally, I think I should give this 0 out of 5 sales. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't even know if I would give it half. Like, I don't even know what.
Yeah.
Like, I feel bad just being like 0 out of 5 sales.
But this is like the worst movie
No.
I've ever seen.
Like, I've seen horrible movies that I at least found entertaining. Like, I had something I could joke about. There's nothing.
Nothing.
There's nothing with cats. I think I'm gonna go with 0 as well because like there's no redeeming quality to this. It's just kind of embarrassing like how much effort went in, like so much effort went into the animation and the choreographing and the score and getting the star power that they had.
Just the amount of money this probably took. I think I looked it up and it was
Millions.
like $100 million.
And it was literally for nothing.
Yeah, like I read somewhere that Jason Derulo said that he thought this movie would change the world, and it didn't. I'm sorry, Jason.
My world's not changed. I don't think
It might be a little bit darker. I might be a little bit more cynical now.
No, like I'm gonna have a nightmare about Jason Derulo like grabbing a foot and singing into it and dropping milk all over the floor and all these little cats like meowing and writhing at him. Like,
it's just very inappropriate. I think inappropriate and uncomfortable are the 2 words that describe this movie.
Yeah, Cats is definitely an out-of-body experience in the uncanny valley, and I don't want to go there again.
But yeah, well, thank you so much for watching our very first bad movie review. We will be back in 2 weeks.